fourth agency, the Educational Broadcasting Authority, Scott Finn.
Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Senators, for being here. As always, we're passing out the Hall's chocolates made here in West Virginia. This is one way that we match your investment. For every dollar that we get from the state, we get another dollar from federal and private sources, including our fundraiser around Hall's chocolates. So I'm Scott Finn. I'm Executive Director of West Virginia Public Broadcasting, which is also known as the Educational Broadcasting Authority. I'll get right to the point. If all state funding is eliminated for the Educational Broadcasting Authority, this is what will happen. We believe we'll go off the air. That's because the state funding pays for all of our employees. And the money we raise through Hall's Chocolates and other things pays for our fixed costs, our 27 towers, our programming, our electric bill. Without the employees, we can't raise the money to cover the fixed costs. The match goes away, $5 million. We believe this would expose the state to substantial liability in terms of the tower network and also FCC fines for not being on the air. And finally, it would destroy the value of these assets. If you have a house and you move out of it, but you don't keep it up and it burns down, you lose the value of the house. We have a huge amount of spectrum. We have buildings. We have towers. It's an asset to the state of West Virginia. So what do we do for the state? You know that we provide PBS programming and also public radio programming, including the legislature today, 600 hours of coverage of the West Virginia legislature on the West Virginia channel. But we also do other things you might not know about. We broadcast the state lottery drawing at cost. And the folks at the state lottery say that's saving them $250,000 in production costs and another $200,000 because they were basically being, I don't know how to say it, held hostage by a TV station that was trying to charge them a lot of money to broadcast it. By broadcasting the lottery drawing on the West Virginia channel, they've been able to save that money. We also have a brand new PBS Kids channel. It's available 24/7 on cable and also online, in addition to our other two channels, West Virginia Channel and PBS. West Virginians support West Virginia Public Broadcasting, and they support funding for West Virginia Public Broadcasting. A recent study by Marshall says that 2/3 of West Virginians support the state government increasing or level funding West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Only 8% want it reduced or eliminated. What we're asking for basically at the end of the day is time. We're asking for you to consider if there is an option to transfer us to an independent nonprofit or university or do something else, that this be studied, this be looked at, and that this be done in a reasonable manner so it gives us time to prepare, to preserve the assets, to preserve the service. I want to talk briefly about Mountain Stage. Mountain Stage is West Virginia Public Broadcasting's star asset. It's the West Virginia's calling card to the world. It is a show that is now reaching a record number of people online, 500,000, and also 200 radio stations throughout the country. This organization, the legislature, has given us a line item for Mountain Stage, and that pays for the artist fees. But West Virginia Public Broadcasting also has 3 full-time employees out of its general revenue budget that work on Mountain Stage. We provide all sorts of other backup for them as well. West Virginia Public Broadcasting is Mountain Stage, and Mountain Stage is West Virginia Public Broadcasting. We need each other. And Larry Gross, of course, the host and artistic director of Mountain Stage, is here to answer any questions you might have about Mountain Stage and how it relates to public broadcasting. We know you have a hard job to do. We're ready to step up and do our part, but we're asking to be put back in the budget. Thank you.
I'm going to take the opportunity, since I have to leave here in a minute and I'll be back in a few minutes, if you'd answer the question, what level of funding, or if you want to talk about it later, that as the step down, do you have in your mind a plan for exit that you could share with us later, I guess, or if the committee wants to know now? I mean,
there are certain things that if we had time we could transition into, okay, but we'd have to stop certain types of programming. The type of programming that you lose when you get no state funding is exactly this. It's the coverage of the legislature. It's the legislature today. That's the thing that's hard to get private funding to support. So we believe we can operate on less money. We're going to have to, but we'd like to have a conversation about what services the state could continue to support, okay, and what services that we could raise ourselves.
All right, then we'll bring you back, maybe to one of our subcommittees, actually the one I chair, to meet and talk about that in greater detail.
Thank you, Senator.
You're welcome.